The scream sliced through the Texas heat like a blade. I dropped my pitchfork, heart racing, and sprinted across my ranch toward the old barn. That scream wasn't human, it was terror, raw and primal, echoing from the locked barn where Brutus lived. Brutus isn't a person. He's a grizzly bear, a 700-pound rescue I'd raised since he was a cub, washed up after a flood. I'd built him a secure basement under the barn, worked with vets, and followed every law. He's not a pet, he's a permanent rescue. One rule: nobody enters the barn without me. But HOA Queen Linda Harper just broke it. I'm Ethan Carter, a 41-year-old retired park ranger turned rancher, living on 16 acres of family land in rural Texas. My ranch is my sanctuary: solar panels, homegrown food, a few animals, and peace. Then Sunset Hills Estates moved in nearby, bringing their HOA nonsense. My land's independent, but Linda, with her blonde bob and red lipstick, decided everyone should bow to her rules: mailbox colors, lawn heights, even my unsightly, no trespassing sign. I told her politely, "Ma'am, you don't own my land." She smirked. "We'll see." Trouble started small: letters taped to my gate, fake animal control complaints. Then my cameras caught Linda photographing my barn like it was a crime scene. I should have pushed back harder, but I'm a pick-your-battles guy. Until that scream. I reached the barn to find Linda halfway down the basement stairs, phone filming, high heels sinking in dirt. Brutus stood below, growling, rearing up, his massive frame lit by a flickering bulb. Her phone slipped, landing near his paws. "Is that a bear?" she shrieked as the cellar door's latch snapped shut, trapping her. I had seconds to act. "Brutus, easy," I called, fumbling with the rusted latch. "Linda, don't scream!" But she stomped, yelling about calling the cops. Brutus stepped closer. I yanked the door open, calming Brutus as Linda bolted out, then spun on me. "You're done, Carter!" "You endangered me." I stayed calm. "You trespassed. Broke a lock. You're lucky you're alive." She stormed to her Lexus, mud on her heels, and sped off. The next morning, sheriff's cruisers, animal control, and Linda's ascot. "Dangerous wild animal on your property?" an officer asked. I handed over Brutus's permits, rescued in 2017, vaccinated, microchipped, legal under wildlife codes. The officer nodded. "This is airtight." Linda fumed. "He locked me in with a bear." The sheriff raised an eyebrow. "After you broke in?" She went silent. My cameras proved her trespassing. The HOA had no jurisdiction. Linda's Lexus peeled out, but I knew she wasn't done. Days later, I found fresh tire tracks leading to the barn. Inside, the basement door was open, and Brutus was sedated in a steel cage. A man in an HOA polo stammered, "Wildlife removal authorized." "By who?" I roared. Then, a bang, barn doors slammed shut. Smoke curled down. The barn was on fire. Flames licked the stairs. The HOA guy panicked. I remembered an old storm drain tunnel behind the basement. Kicking open the rusted hatch, we dragged Brutus's cage through the narrow passage, emerging as the barn collapsed. In the distance, Linda watched, holding a remote, then walked to her Lexus. The fire chief called it arson. I moved Brutus to a friend's sanctuary and sent evidence, burned locks, tire tracks matching Linda's SUV, to my lawyer, the sheriff, and Channel 5 News. The "Bear Basement Blaze" went viral. Linda denied everything, but the HOA guy confessed she'd paid him to trap Brutus. Charges piled up: arson, trespassing, animal cruelty. Then, a new twist. A forged deed claimed I'd sold 2 acres to Sunset Hills Development. Bulldozers arrived, led by Richard Vance, a slick lawyer. "This is legal," he sneered. I wasn't so sure. Enter Sarah Brooks, ex-Army K-9 handler and wildlife enforcer. She rolled in with night vision cams and tripwires. At 3 a.m., we caught 2 HOA cronies planting surveillance gear. One was Tim Baxter, a realtor, The other, the cage guy. We found a military-grade signal booster linked to Michael Drake, Linda's ex, a millionaire developer buying up ranches for luxury estates. This wasn't just HOA drama, it was a land grab. We set a trap, looping fake footage of Brutus in the barn ruins. Linda took the bait, sneaking in alone, digging for evidence. "You're trespassing," I said, flashlight on her. She smirked. "Michael owns this county. You'll lose." But we had her on video. The media exploded, Bear Hero versus HOA villain. Leaked files exposed Michael's bribes and illegal deals. He faced federal probes. Linda was rearrested. One night, Sarah and I caught 3 mercenaries trying to tranquilize Brutus. Flashbangs stunned them. The sheriff cuffed them. They confessed. Vance hired them to frame me. By noon, Vance was arrested, and Sunset Hills was raided. My land was declared a state-protected sanctuary. Brutus chased butterflies, and Sarah stayed to start a veterans' wildlife program. Peace returned. But under my porch, we found an envelope. Inside, a photo of another ranch marked, "You're not the only one." Sarah locked the gate. "Let's hunt them." I nodded. This fight wasn't over. What do you think? Was Linda a pawn or a mastermind? Share your thoughts below. Let's debate who's really to blame and what you'd do in Ethan's boots.